Available now. Link below.
In a series of bombshell videos released on Truth Social, President Donald Trump has launched a blistering attack on the Biden administration, exposing shocking scandals and failed policies that threaten the fabric of our nation. From the outrageous scheme to force Americans to house illegal aliens in their own homes to the Democrats' desperate attempts to silence Trump on the abortion issue, the 45th president is holding nothing back. He also takes aim at the criminal weaponization of government against political rivals and vows to protect the sacred entitlements of Social Security and Medicare from the relentless onslaught of the migrant invasion. In a bold challenge, he also calls on Biden to face him in debate anytime, anywhere, to discuss the fate of our beloved country. Don't miss this explosive special report as we uncover the truth behind these earth-shattering revelations, and stay tuned for my final thought. Now, just like the illegal aliens flooding into our country, your energy bills are invading your bank account, hitting record highs with no end in sight. A staggering 20 million American households are drowning in overdue power bills, with greedy utility companies hoarding millions in uncollected debts. But if you're not patriots, I have discovered a game-changing device that will help you fight back against these energy overlords. I'm talking about this little powerhouse that plugs right into your wall, optimizing your home's electricity, slashing your bills, and keeping more of your hard-earned money where it belongs, in your pocket. Visit don'twastepower.com right now to claim your 60-day risk-free trial, 65% off, free shipping, and a bundle of bonus gifts. Act fast before they sell out. Now let's dive deeper into the shocking revelations exposed by President Trump in his recent Truth Social barrage. Yes, in a series of explosive videos released on Truth Social, President Donald Trump has unleashed a relentless assault on the Biden administration, exposing a multitude of scandals and failed policies that threaten to tear our nation apart. From the outrageous scheme of forcing Americans to house illegal aliens in their own homes to the Democrats' desperate attempts to silence Trump on the abortion issue, the 45th president is leaving no stone unturned in his quest to reveal the truth. Now, first up, we've got quite a few videos here, so get that cup of coffee ready and the popcorn out, because Trump takes aim at Michigan's radical left Democrat Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who has concocted a plan to hand out $500 a month in cash to anyone willing to accept illegal aliens into their homes. This absurd newcomer rental subsidy was nothing more than a thinly veiled attempt to use taxpayer dollars to fund the housing of foreign invaders. Trump exposes this outrageous scheme and the dangers it poses to American families. Watch.
In Michigan, radical left Democrat Governor Gretchen Whitmer is handing out $500 a month in cash to anyone who accepts illegal aliens into your homes. Isn't that nice? She's calling this scam the newcomer rental subsidy. In other words, she's calling illegal immigrants, many coming from jails, many coming from mental institutions, many are terrorists. She's calling them newcomers. Isn't that wonderful? And it's all funded by federal taxpayer dollars, distributed by crooked Joe Biden. He's the most crooked president we've ever had, and he's by far the worst president we've ever had. In other words, Biden and Whitmer are selecting and stealing your money to give free housing to illegal alien migrants and then asking you to quarter these foreign armies, and that's what they are, they're armies. They're coming in at levels that we've never seen ever in our country before. But quarter these foreign armies in the spare bedroom that you happen to have next to your children. I don't know, somehow it doesn't sound like a very good idea, considering many of these people came from prisons and jails. They came from mental institutions and insane asylums. Many are terrorists that are coming into our country totally unchecked and totally unvetted. Doesn't sound like a good idea to have them next to your children, but that's Biden for you. Biden, Whitmer, and the radical left Democrats care more about illegal aliens than about American citizens or our military, our vets. They care much more about illegal aliens. Thanks to their inflation disaster, you can't afford to buy a house. You can't afford the increase in rent, yet they're taking your money and giving it to so-called newcomers. It's such a nice name, who illegally charged across our border. They came in illegally into our country. They're called newcomers. They're not called illegal immigrants. They're not called illegal aliens. This is a scandal, and this is a disgusting insult to hardworking American taxpayers. I will end it on day one. And when I take the oath of office, America is going to be strong, powerful, and rich again. When I'm president, instead of asking you to cram illegal aliens into your homes, I'll tell the illegal aliens that they must not come into our country, they have to go back to their homes in their countries. One way or another, we will send them back to their own countries. We will have the largest and most efficient deportation effort in the history of our country, bigger than that of Dwight Eisenhower, our president from a long time ago. Thank you very much.
Now, this video serves as a wake-up call to the American people, highlighting the misplaced priorities of the Biden administration and their Democrat allies. While hardworking citizens struggle to afford housing and cope with rampant inflation, our government's more concerned with providing free accommodations to illegal immigrants, many of whom have criminal backgrounds or ties to terrorism. This is a slap in the face to every law-abiding American who plays by the rules and works tirelessly to provide for their families. Next, Trump addresses the Democrats' desperate attempts to attack him on the abortion issue as they scramble to find a winning strategy in the face of their numerous failures on the border, economy, and energy policies. However, their efforts are in vain as Trump confidently asserts that the states are now handling the matter, effectively nullifying the Democrats' only perceived advantage. Watch this.
You know the Democrats are reeling when they have no response to my recent statement on abortion other than, oh, he's only kidding, or he will change it, or he's not going to do that, he'll do something else, because he knows and they know that when they say that, they're in trouble. I guess this means that we will win the election because they're so bad on every other issue. They are so bad on the border, on the economy, on energy, everything. We were energy independent just 4 years ago. And now look what happened, and look what happened to our country. Millions of people flowing in from prisons, from jails. It's really a terrible thing. So the only issue they have, the only issue they think they have is on abortion. And now all I say is the states are handling it, and it's totally killed that issue. We'll take care of everything. We're going to make our country great again. Everybody's going to be happy.
His unwavering stance on abortion has left the Democrats reeling as they realize their reliance on this singular issue is no longer a viable political strategy. With the states now empowered to make their own decisions on abortion, Democrats are left floundering, unable to distract from their disastrous policies that have led to a surge in illegal immigration, a crumbling economy, and an energy crisis that has left our nation vulnerable. Trump further clarifies his position on abortion, emphasizing that the overturning of Roe v. Wade was always about returning the issue to the states in accordance with the 10th Amendment and the principles of states' rights. He exposes the Democrats' disingenuous attempts to paint Republicans as extremists, even as GOP leaders have shown a willingness to compromise and find common ground. Watch.
People forget, fighting Roe v. Wade was right from the beginning all about bringing the issue back to the states, pursuant to the 10th Amendment and states' rights. It wasn't about anything else. That's what it was. We brought it back to the states, and now lots of things are happening, and lots of good things are happening. Every legal scholar, everybody from both sides said, you have to get it out of the federal government. You have to bring it back to the states. It wasn't about anything else. After we won, Marjorie Dannenfelser of the SBA and Lindsey Graham, senator, started saying, no, let's go back to the federal government with 0 weeks. And when they got nowhere, they upped it to 6 weeks, and they got nowhere again, and they recently upped it to 15 weeks, and were obviously willing to take the number upward, because they were getting absolutely nowhere with the Democrats, and they never would, because the Democrats will never give up on this issue, no matter how many Republicans want and ask and are willing to give everything. You could give unlimited abortion, and the Democrats would find a reason not to do it because they don't love our country. They don't want to solve a very difficult problem. But we did. It's called states' rights, and the states are working feverishly to get it all resolved. 53 years it went, and we did something that nobody thought. We brought it back to the states where it belongs and where everyone wanted it. The states will be making the decision. Republicans are now free to run for office based on the horrible border, inflation, bad economy, the death and destruction of our country. We have the worst president in history, and we're going to have the best president in history. And that president's going to do a great job for you, and we're going to make America great again. Thank you very much.
That video serves as a reminder that the Democrats' intransigence on the abortion issue is not rooted in a genuine concern for women's rights, but rather a cynical political ploy to maintain their grip on power. By returning the decision-making authority to the states, Trump has effectively neutralized the Democrats' main talking point and forced them to confront the disastrous consequences of their failed leadership. Moving on, Trump highlights the crucial importance of presidential immunity, arguing that without it, a president cannot effectively function and will be subject to constant blackmail and extortion by political opponents. He announces that the Supreme Court will address this historic question, which has far-reaching implications for the future of our republic. Watch.
The Supreme Court will address the historic question of presidential immunity. Without presidential immunity, the president cannot function, as his political opponents will blackmail and extort him with the threat of wrongful persecution at every turn, including when he leaves office. They're going to say, you don't give us this, whether it's for taxes or military or anything, we're going to go get you because we're allowed to now, because you wouldn't have immunity. We're going to get you after you leave office. It literally would be blackmail. We look forward to presenting our case in the Supreme Court. It's going to be one of the most important cases because without presidential immunity, you have nothing. You don't have a president. You have just a ceremonial position, and we can't have that. A president has to be strong, has to be powerful, has to make good decisions. But if you don't have presidential immunity, if you don't have a strong form of immunity, you're not going to have anything. You're not going to have a president that can function. It's not going to work. It would never work. Everybody assumes that a president has immunity. A president has to have immunity, or he cannot or she cannot function.
Trump's video underscores the gravity of the situation as he warns that without strong presidential immunity, our nation's leader will be reduced to a mere ceremonial figurehead, unable to make the tough decisions necessary to keep our country safe and prosperous. The Democrats' relentless attacks on Trump, both during and after his presidency, serve as a reminder of the dangers posed by a weakened executive branch. Trump then boldly accuses crooked Joe Biden of crossing the sacred threshold into criminality using lawfare and the weaponization of government agencies to interfere with elections and target political opponents. He exposes Biden as the worst and most corrupt president in our nation's history, who resorts to underhanded tactics to maintain his grip on power. Watch.
At what point are the actions of a sitting president using lawfare and weaponization against his opponent for purposes of election interference considered illegal? I believe, as do various highly respected legal scholars, that crooked Joe Biden has long since crossed over that very sacred threshold. He is a criminal. He is a horrible president. He's the worst president in the history of our country. And the only way he thinks he can get elected is to take me to trials, take me to courts, city, state, and federal. They control them all. All of these cases that you're reading about are crooked Joe Biden's case because he can't put two sentences together. He can't do anything. So they weaponize government and they take me to court on bullshit. So we are going to win. We're going to win big. We're going to go through these horrible Biden trials. And at the end of the day, November 5th, everyone's coming out to vote for Trump. Thank you very much.
Trump's video is a clarion call to the American people, urging them to recognize the unprecedented level of corruption and abuse of power that's taken root in the Biden administration. By shining a light on Biden's criminal behavior, Trump is fighting to preserve the integrity of our democratic processes and ensure that no president is above the law. In yet another powerful video, Trump doubles down on his accusations against Biden, labeling him a threat to democracy and calling for an end to the weaponization of government agencies against political opponents. He exposes the deep-seated corruption within the Department of Justice and the FBI, revealing that they are behind the countless lawsuits and investigations that are targeting him. Watch.
It's just out that crooked Joe Biden, the worst and most corrupt president in the history of the United States by far, is leading the weaponization of government against his political opponent, me. Crooked Joe is a threat to democracy. We cannot let him continue in office. All of this weaponization and lawfare that you're watching, all of these lawsuits against me, they're all started by the DOJ, the FBI, all of the people in government, even the state cases and the city cases. They're being run by the DOJ. They put their people in there, and they're being run by the DOJ. We have to stop weaponization. There's never been anything like it in the history of our country. It's happened before, but only in third world countries. And we're becoming a third world country between our borders and all of the other things that are so bad, so bad. But we have to stop the weaponization, and we have to stop it now. The best way to stop it is November 5th. We're going to beat them like a drum. Thank you very much.
Beat him like a drum. His message is clear. We must put an end to this blatant abuse of power and hold those responsible accountable for their actions. He urges the American people to rally behind him and send a resounding message on November 5th as we work together to drain the swamp and restore integrity to our government. Now, shifting gears, Trump addresses the critical issues of Social Security and Medicare, vowing to protect these sacred entitlements from the Democrats' reckless policies that threaten their long-term viability. He exposes the link between the unchecked influx of illegal immigrants and the strain placed on these vital programs, which millions of Americans rely on in their golden years. Watch.
Unlike the Democrats who are killing Social Security and Medicare by allowing the invasion of migrants into our country, it's an absolute, like a military invasion. I will not, under any circumstances, allow either of these two precious gems to be even touched under a Trump administration. You will always have your Social Security in full as you have it now, and you will always have your Medicare. Biden cannot say that because Biden is killing them both with the invasion of migrants and while at the same time destroying our country in every other way. MAGA 2024.
Let's go. Trump's videos are promising the American people that he will fight tirelessly to preserve Social Security and Medicare, ensuring that these programs remain solvent and accessible for generations to come. By contrast, he warns that Biden's open border policies and the massive influx of migrants will ultimately lead to the destruction of these cherished safety nets. And in a bold challenge, President Trump calls on crooked Joe Biden to engage in debate anytime, anywhere to discuss the pressing issues facing our nation. He emphasizes the importance of transparency and accountability and the need for the American people to hear directly from their leaders about the future of our country. Watch.
It's time for crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the United States, and I to debate. We have to talk about what he's doing and where we're going. We owe it to our country. We owe it to all Americans. Anytime, anywhere, anyplace.
Trump's video is a testament to his unwavering commitment to the American people and his willingness to confront the failed policies and corrupt practices of the Biden administration head on. By challenging Biden to a debate, Trump is demonstrating his confidence in his vision for our nation and his ability to lead us towards a brighter, more prosperous future. And finally, Donald Trump returns to the crucial issue of presidential immunity, arguing that without it, a president will be reduced to a mere figurehead, lacking the courage to make the tough decisions necessary to keep our country safe and strong. And he emphasizes that this is not what the founders intended and that a president must have the freedom to act in the best interests of the nation without fear of retribution. Watch.
If a president doesn't have immunity, he or she will be nothing more than a ceremonial president, rarely having the courage to do what has to be done for our country and to make our country great again. This is not what the founders had in mind at all. This is not what they wanted to think about. This is not where they wanted us to be. The founders wanted the president to have immunity so the president can feel free to make decisions. Hopefully, they'll be great decisions, but whether they are or not, a president of the United States has to have immunity. Thank you.
His video is a powerful reminder of the importance of preserving the integrity of the presidency and the principles on which our nation was founded. By fighting for presidential immunity, Trump is ensuring that future leaders will have the ability to govern effectively and make the difficult choices required to keep America great. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's time for my final thought. President Donald Trump's series of Truth Social videos serves as a resounding call to action for the American people. As we witness the Biden administration's relentless assault on our values, our freedoms, and our very way of life, it becomes increasingly clear that we need a strong, fearless leader to guide us through these turbulent times. Trump's unwavering commitment to exposing corruption, fighting for the forgotten men and women of this nation, and safeguarding our most cherished institutions is a beacon of hope in an era of darkness. By challenging the status quo, standing up to the entrenched powers that seek to undermine our democracy, and championing the principles that have made America great, Trump has proven himself to be the only candidate capable of leading us back to the path of prosperity and security. In 2024, we must stand united behind President Trump and restore the promise of the American dream for generations to come. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.